Okay, let's dive into the story of a creature you probably think you know, but I'm willing to bet you don't. Get ready because we're talking about the tribulations of the opossum.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. If I say North America's oldest, toughest survivor, what pops into your head? You probably picture something big, right? Like a grizzly bear or a wolf, maybe even a bison. I mean, we're talking about an animal that's been around since the time of the dinosaurs.
Well, believe it or not, you're looking at it. Yeah, the humble Virginia opossum. This little guy is basically a living fossil, a true master of survival that has outlasted so many other species, which really makes you wonder, right? Why don't we treat it that way?
In that question, well, it gets right to the heart of the matter. We're talking about an ancient, misunderstood neighbor. We're going to explore exactly why this incredibly resilient creature has gotten such a bad rap.
You know, this quote, it really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? For so many of us, the opossum is just that creature hissing from a trash can. We think of it as a scavenger, not a survivor. Kind of dirty, maybe a little aggressive, sort of rat-like. But here's the thing. That's not the real story. It's not even close.
So, to really get the true story, we have to understand what it's up against. We're talking about a life lived completely against the odds. It's an immense daily struggle just to make it to the next day.
Okay, look at this. 2 years. That's it. In the wild, if an opossum is really lucky, it gets about 2 years of life. I mean, that is a brutally short amount of time.
And believe me, those 2 years are anything but a walk in the park. It's a brutally short life, and it's just packed with danger. Constant, unrelenting danger from pretty much the moment they're on their own.
Just look at this list. I mean, for an opossum, the world is full of predators. From the sky, you've got great horned owls and hawks circling. Down on the ground, there are coyotes, foxes, even our own domestic dogs. And then, of course, there's us, humans. And our cars have become one of the biggest threats of all.
So you have to ask, right? With all of that stacked against it, how on earth does this small, kind of slow-moving animal even stand a chance? Well, it's because it's got some secret weapons. This ancient survivor has a totally unique toolkit that helps it defy the odds. All right, let's start with the one you've probably heard of, playing possum. But here's the crazy part. It's not an act. It's a completely involuntary response called thanatosis. When an opossum is faced with just pure terror, its body literally shuts down. It goes into this comatose-like state, its heart rate drops, it starts to drool, and it even releases this nasty-smelling fluid. To a predator, it looks and smells like it's been dead for a while, and most predators, they'll just move on. It's a wild and frankly terrifying defense mechanism. And playing dead is not its only superpower. Opossums have another one that is just incredible. Check this out. They have a built-in shield against venomous snakes. We're talking rattlesnakes, copperheads, you name it. They have these unique proteins in their blood that actually neutralize the venom. So a bite that would be fatal to most other animals. For an opossum, it's basically just a bad day.
Okay, and what about rabies? That's a huge fear people have about wildlife, right? Well, it turns out that's another thing you don't really have to worry about with opossums. Just look at the difference here. Their body temperature is naturally much lower than other mammals. It's just too cool an environment for the rabies virus to really thrive. So that hissing creature you see? Yeah, it's almost a sure bet that it's not rabid. So, we've covered the struggle, and we've talked about the awesome superpowers that help it survive. But that's not even the whole story. Now we're going to get to the part where this creature goes from survivor to your backyard's unsung hero. Seriously, it plays a vital role that I bet you've never even considered. Think about it like this. They are nature's very own pest control service. Forget spending money on chemicals. Opossums have a huge appetite for all the stuff you don't want in your garden. I'm talking slugs, snails, all sorts of beetles, even that rotting fruit that falls off the trees. They're like these little wandering janitors, cleaning everything up. But their most important job, wow, it really comes down to this one number. 4,000. Just let that sink in for a second. What on earth could that number possibly mean? That is roughly the number of ticks a single opossum can eat in just one season. It's because they are such clean animals, always grooming themselves. So as they wander around, ticks latch onto their fur, and the opossum just grooms them off and eats them. Almost all of them. This makes them an absolute frontline defense against the spread of diseases like Lyme disease. Incredible, right? So let's just put this all together. Let's look at the hero's true identity. This isn't a pest. This is a voracious tick-eating machine. It's a natural form of pest control. It's super resistant to rabies, immune to a bunch of snake venoms, and, oh, by the way, it also happens to be a living piece of history. North America's only native marsupial.
So, the next time you see one of those silent, almost prehistoric-looking shadows shuffling through your yard at night, I want you to think about everything we just talked about and ask yourself this question. Are you really looking at a pest, or are you looking at a protector?